Hi guys, and welcome back to Factorio Vanilla. This is episode 12. Last time we set up our automated transport system to bring oil barrels down to the cracking and refining facility, and we made the mistake of not setting up filter inserters, which I've now put in instead. So we want to set these so that they will only accept off the train crude oil barrels, because otherwise when we start to unbarrel the oil and send the unpacked barrels back around, they'd get loaded onto the train, then loaded immediately back off again, which is not what we want. So if we set this up to accept only crude oil barrels, that solves that problem. So let's hop back in our train for a second and head back over to the other location. Might take a few seconds for the train to kick in, but that's okay, we can spare a few seconds. And then we can see what needs setting up at the other end just to complete this loop. Any second now we should get moving. Or you know what? Let's do it automatically. So up at this end, I've set it up so that we can insert our filled oil barrels, and then this side will only accept the empty barrels. If we copy these settings across the rest of the filter inserters, we can then start the process running from the other side. So if we watch this, this is now going to take our oil, take our barrels, fill the barrels up with oil and load them back into the system. We're going to need a lot more barrels than we've got at the moment, so maybe in a moment we'll set up some facility to actually make the barrels automatically. Let's see, do we have any steel? Yes, we've got plenty of steel, so we can use that to set up our automated barreling facility. So make barrels, insert barrels into there. Let's upgrade that to fast inserters actually. So that can go into there, and this can come out of a chest, which we have one ready for it there. And we're going to need another chest, because what I've forgotten to do is put our chests up and down this line. But that's okay, we can do that now. So if we pop all of this steel into there, that will then make the barrels to feed the oil, to make the oil filled barrels to go into here. And then this will start to rotate between the fill up station here and the drop off point further down. So with that under control, what do we want to do next? Well, I'm quite concerned about this spider base, and really these as well. So it might be worth us taking care of those before they start coming after us. Yeah, that seems like a good plan. So let's take care of this one over here first. Do I have turrets on me? Yes. Do I have ammo on me? No. So try not to get run over, that would be a bad thing. If I run over here, I should find that my car is still down here from where I left it before. Yes, there it is. Let's go back to the main base, grab some ammo and take out those close spider bases. Or actually, maybe not just yet, because we've now got the ability to make the various oil products. What's it need to make a flamethrower? Because flamethrowers really make clearing spider bases a lot simpler. We've already got no research going on at the moment, so how far from flamethrowers are we? Well, we need to do flammables and then flamethrowers, and both of those require just red and green, so they're nice and easy for us to get. So I think that's a good thing for us to do for a few minutes. And in the meantime, let's go down and set up what we need in order to actually make flamethrower ammo. So what will we make? Well, it's not going to be in there yet because we don't have the technology yet. But if we look at this, we're going to need steel and gear wheels to make the flamethrower itself. That's not too difficult. And we're going to need iron, light oil and heavy oil in order to make the flamethrowers. So if we line this up somewhere, I'm going to assume for a second that it requires the chemical plants to make them. And let's put them over here. Or not. Let's put it here instead. Because that way it gives us room to actually hook things up afterwards. Now we're going to need to run some form of iron supply down to this. So we can grab some belts and run down here. And what we could do is expand this line across. So there you go, that's flammables researched. Now we just need the flamethrower and then we can get started with it properly. So if we run this back along here, remember this is going to wear out soon, and when it does, this line will be gotten rid of, so this thing is just temporary. But if we cut off this line, that happened quicker than I expected. Leave that one for a second. If we cut off this line here and here, and feed the underground belt through there, we can then bring this down, and that will provide all the iron that we need. We need a little bit more underground belt first, which I have lost. I can't see it. I might have used up the last of my underground belt. Not to worry, we've got iron, we can make more of it. So this iron will run under here then, and into our, what's it called? Into our chemical plant. And our chemical plant will then make our flamethrower ammo. So, do we have any more fast inserters? Yes, we do. That can go into there. And what we want to do is bring out pipes from the heavy oil and the light oil to fill this up. I think the easiest way to do this might be like that. So we can then have some underground pipe coming through. No, we can't because we need more iron. There you go. We can now make some underground pipe to go through. From there to there. And from here, running down to... That's not brilliant, but it'll have to do. Running down to there and across. So we've now got heavy oil and light oil coming in to the chemical plant, and we've got iron plates there as well. So the only thing we now need is somewhere to store the fuel when it's made and to get power over to this. Power shouldn't be too difficult because we are still in range of the nearest big pole, and we can just put an inserter down by there, and we're going to need one more box. A wooden chest will do for this because we're not going to need tons of it at any given time. So I think we can probably limit that to 4 stacks is probably going to be plenty. So now that we've got our flamethrower ammo starting to produce, we can get our flamethrower as well. Or we could do if we had any steel on us. So once again, that's a quick run back up to the top to get some steel. And at this point, we really don't need our pistol anymore either, so that can be hidden away in a chest somewhere. So grab this steel from there. And if I remember right, there is a chest over here that we've been just dumping things in. So we can dump in our wood, dump in our pistol because we don't need that anymore. Anything else we don't need? I suppose we can put the assembly machine ones in there, we don't really need those either. And that will more or less do things for the time being. let's store the alien artifacts in there as well, because we're not going to need them until we get to Purple Science. So we can now make our flamethrower, or we could if we had a few more iron gears. There you go, we can now make our flamethrower, and by the time that's done we should have enough flamer ammo to actually go take out one of those bases. That would be if I could remember where I'd actually built the thing. Here it is. So we've got 40 ammo available, that should be plenty. We've got some turrets. Let's grab a normal bit of extra ammo just in case we do need anything. In case we want to cover our retreat or anything like that. But that should give us plenty of firepower then to take out a biter base or two. So if you want to swap between weapons, you use the Q button to cycle through the weapons that you've got. And at the moment we've only got two weapons equipped, the submachine gun and the flamethrower. So that's not too difficult to remember. I don't want to be stood on these tracks because if we get hit by a train, that would hurt. In fact, let's zoom out a little bit so I can see where the train is coming before it arrives. And I don't have autosave turned on, so this could get a little bit naughty, or a little bit nasty rather. Let's run in there, see what happens, and I might have to run away very quickly. But there's the base, you can see some of the biters milling around it. And to give you a quick demonstration of the flamethrower. Lovely. So that's been set on fire and it's starting to burn. It will pop out a bite or two just before it gets finished. But you can see how easily flamethrowers take care of things at the moment. I do understand there are plans to nerf the flamethrower slightly in the future, which, while I'd be sad about, I can understand because it is a rather overpowered weapon as things stand. But we'll have to see what results come out as the developers announce them. And this could be quite dangerous because fortunately they ran straight into the flame and cooked themselves. As you can see, I am struggling with the amount of biters coming through there. So I might have to resort to covering my tracks with a few turrets. And really I should be putting these back in the hotbar where I can get to them quite easily. Bit silly of me not to have done that. And now that that's in place, I should be able to get close enough, because each time they run out to greet me, they'll get gunned down by the turrets. So let's just run in. Oh, that was very close. Worms can do lots and lots of damage to you with their spitting, and I'm not sure that I can actually handle worm fire well enough to survive it. So even though I don't like doing the turret creep method, we might have to just stick with it for a little bit longer until we can get some better armour going. Now I don't know how well that will hold up, so let's prop it up a little bit with some repair packs. As you can see, my turret isn't really doing much damage to the worm, so I might have to really take a risk here. There you go, that should take care of it. A little bit frustratingly, the worm has managed to take itself off fire. There you go, that's gone and it's dead. But you can see that it's taken a lot of damage to kill the worms, which means that maybe our gun turret damage isn't good enough. Well, we know our gun damage isn't good enough because we've barely done much research into gun turret damage. But we can come back to this in a moment. In fact, we've got some spare research capacity at the moment, so let's get this started now. But in the meantime, let's take out that base as well, and then we'll be in a bit better position with the rest of what needs to be taken care of. So there you go. If we look at the map now, this one isn't in pollution range yet. This one is starting to be, but I think we can handle it for now. This one could be a problem because they are encroaching on towards the base. But again, we can handle things for now. What else have we got? Those two could be problematic, and I really don't want to go anywhere near this for the time being. But let's just take these two out, and then we can start moving on with more of the oil production. Fortunately, the biter AI can be a little bit stupid and they will run in straight lines towards you. Unfortunately, that happens at a really bad moment. Let's just quickly do that and hope that I can get away before they catch me. There you go, they ran straight into the flames and cooked themselves. So that's one done. Can we take out the other one as well? Yes, I think we can. So that takes us out of immediate danger with the biter bases, but obviously we will need to come back at a later date and really clear these out a bit more thoroughly. I'm actually quite surprised at how close to the base they've spawned, so that was a little bit unfortunate for us, but we can survive it, we can take care of it. Now that we've got some power down here, and I'm around here anyway, let's put a little bit of lights around here just to give you guys a bit better view of what's going on. And quickly hop a ride on the train. So now that our oil supply is rather more secure, we can see that we've got these things filling up nicely, and we're getting enough fuel coming through this to take care of things. Yep, that's lovely. So the next thing we want to make is probably going to be plastic, because plastic will open up the opportunity to make things like red circuits, which then lead into blue circuits. Plastic is also useful for... what else is it useful for? It's useful for various things, but off the top of my head I can't see any of them. Not accumulators, not solar panels. Plastic is needed for some things, but I can't actually remember what at the moment. But plastic is made in chemical plants, so we want to take petroleum and petroleum is turned, I think, straight into plastic. No, we need to add some coal as well. So that's okay, because we've got the coal line coming down here. So in that case, let's run a line come up here. And where do we want to put our chemical plants? I think that... wasn't expecting that. Get some more gun damage while we're here. I think that if we run our chemical plants across here, we can then put in... we need more... always need more iron in this game. We can use some long-hand inserters to feed the coal in from our main line. Now we'll have to keep an eye on things to make sure that doesn't deplete the main line too much, and it might be necessary to put in a second main line coming across, but we can watch that as it comes through. While we're waiting for these to continue crafting, let's take a look up at the copper ore and see how that's coming along. So this is finished, there's no resources left there to get. Same with this one. 470, 808, 1,500, 200. So again, all of these are going to finish off fairly quickly at this point. Let's get a few more fast inserters and speed this side up. And we can start to reclaim some of the stuff in the middle. There you go, reduce some of the spaghetti. So we don't need that one either. And we don't need this one. What about these? Why is that full? Because that's trying to put it onto there, so that's never going to work. Okay, well what we can do instead is take one of our inserters, wherever it's gone, and just belt it straight into the side of here. And this one is still unloading slowly onto there, but if we make this a fast inserter and take those to be fast inserters as well, that should speed up throughput on the whole chain of these things. In fact, we could always do that as well. So these will now start emptying out a little bit more quickly, which will allow this to finish off a little bit faster as well. And in fact, while we're pruning things, get rid of those, and get rid of those. So that's now given us the time to finish making the pipe that we needed. So we can line this up down here, and we are going to have to power lights down here as well. So actually we need to make some more lights, which need more iron again. As I said, you've never got enough iron. But anyway, line this up here and there, and then we can use underground pipe to connect these up. That's not right, that should go to there instead. So if we then grab our long hand inserters, they can come in here, here, or there, here, here, and here. And we're going to need some medium electric poles. There, there, and hook it up to that. And then our lights just for good measure. So we've now got all the components we need to make plastic. more iron again. So in the meantime, let's start running this belt out. It can loop under here and quickly take down this part of the forest because it's just getting in the way for us. And then down past the coal. Which that's also getting in the way for us. So let's replace that with a longer reach. There you go. Now, could I or should I have done that better? Possibly. We don't want to get in the way of this in case we choose to expand it later. So let's take this back a few spaces and bring it down under this line. So I will go back and connect that up in a moment. But this is going to act as the divider in our factory, that all the simple components have been made before it, and then we can have the more complicated things happening on this side, which means we're also going to want to get rid of this patch here. But I will do that between videos. So I think that we are almost done with this one. We've got a place for the place for the plastic to come out into the next stage of the factory. So let's just hook all these up and start the counter on that one. There you go. So that's plastic done. We'll make one last change to it, which will require a splitter. And what I'm going to do is just have it come out and be rebalanced by there. So if we include the splitter, we're now going to have plastic on both sides of the line. And with that done, I think it's time to call it a wrap for this episode. So this has been Factorio Vanilla, and I will see you next time.